up, you guys? Rodney Skinner here. I just want to come on here just to share with you my personal thoughts and opinions about the Grammy Awards and why I don't watch the Grammys these days. And so, the Grammy Awards, my understanding, has been around since 1959, May, I believe, 1959. I can't remember the exact date, but I know it was in May of 1959. So it's been around for 50 plus years now. And so the Grammy Awards used to be a pretty sophisticated event, look-wise, attire-wise, and how, it was a very classy event, and the Grammy Awards was of course centered around music, the beautiful art form that we have, which is music. Artists coming together, musicians, singers, songwriters, producers coming together to celebrate each other and honor each other, And so that's what the whole purpose of the Grammy Awards is, And with the Grammy Awards today, it has pretty much grown into a snore fest, in my honest opinion, and how the Grammy Awards has become more politically driven with all this wokeness, and how it has nothing to do with music, and how the artists today are presenting themselves looks-wise, and how it pretty much went from tuxedos and gowns to artists appearing nearly nude with no respect, and it's just sad. It's unfortunate how much, the industry, the music industry has really devolved rather than evolved, and, for artists to present themselves like this, in addition to how they behave and everything, and it's just appalling, and where they stand, and what kind of influence that they have, is really atrocious, and really disturbing. And, with music today, in the music industry today, and it's no secret that, for the past 10 plus years, and I've noticed this change since 2013, I started to notice that, musicians and singers, artists are, latching on to this trend of, mimicking each other, sounding the same, and how it's hard to tell who is who, and how the lyrics are degrading, they're everything but empowering, and how, the lyrics are just so, it just makes you cringe, as far as, the kind of, content and, message that they're trying to put out, especially if you have kids listening, if you have children listening, and how artists today who are engulfed in this woke thing, in this identity politics thing, and how they don't understand what kind of influence that they have on young listeners, children, and families, and music is supposed to be for everyone. Everyone loves music, but the music industry for the past 10 years has become more millennial and zennial driven. And for me as a millennial, and with the music that we got today, I don't dig what it is that we got out here today. And for me as a musician, as an independent artist, and as a producer, I've been influenced and inspired by the music from the 90s, 80s, 70s, and 60s, and how all that has really shaped my musicianship and writing as well, and so that's the thing, and back when artists told a story with their music, back when music was geared towards empowering men and women, back when music was geared towards bringing us all together, and so we hardly see that nowadays because everything is so political. And how, with the Grammy Awards today, they just continue to harp on all this political stuff, and I'm like, this is the time for music, and you're talking about all this political stuff. Like, music is supposed to be a stress reliever. When people listen to music, it relieves you. it makes you feel better about yourself and about life. Music is what brings us together. And so music inspires people. But with everything that's going on today and these A-list artists that are so entrenched in this whole woke thing and identity politics, that's all they can think about. That's all they can think about, you know? And so, yeah, I'm just not down with how the artists today are presenting themselves, you know, not only attire-wise, because how they present themselves attire-wise is just absolutely appalling and embarrassing, but as far as, you know, where they stand and the agenda that's being pushed, that's being shoved into our faces, you know, and so it's leaving a bad taste in our mouths, you know, and even with the industry itself, you know, because, you know, we can't, this isn't entirely their fault as it pertains to the artists. You know, the artists, it's not entirely their fault, but we gotta look at the industry, at what the industry is doing, trying to push all this stuff, trying to shove all this stuff into our faces, you know, and it's obvious that the industry doesn't care about presenting quality art for people of all ages to enjoy, you know, and it's obvious that the industry, you know, puts quantity over quality. This is why the music that we're hearing today, you can't even call it music today, you know, because everything is so watered down. It's elementary. Instrumentally, it's elementary, and everything is so auto-tune driven and pitch correction driven, and how, you know, you don't hear any, where's the authenticity in music today? You know, where is it? You know, and so back in the 90s, 80s, 70s, and 60s, artists back then had their own musical identity. Back when you heard real singing, real musicians playing, real artistry. Back when you heard lyrics that spoke to your heart, mind, and soul, that really inspired you. Music that you can actually relate to and connect with. Music that brings people together. We don't hear that these days because everything is so political, you know, and it's just sad, man, you know, and these A-list artists that are out here today who are basically the poster girl, the poster boy for this agenda that's being pushed, you know, this is, you know, enough. I gotta be honest, enough, you know, and so enough pushing the same people to push this agenda. You know, and when it comes to those who possess real authentic talent, musicians, singers, and songwriters who put in the time, the hours into perfecting their craft, refining their craft, and how they're never seen. They're always what the industry considers to be underground. Well, guess what? These underground artists that you coined are much talented, much more talented, much more gifted than these A-listers that are out here. But of course, you know, the industry, for some reason, those who possess a real talent, it scares them, it frightens them. They don't like to see those who actually have a skill and a talent, those who can actually play instruments, those who can actually sing, those who actually got bars, you know, those who are great lyricists and composers. There's something about great talent that frightens the industry today. I don't understand why, since people want authenticity, and what we are seeing today, we are not seeing any authenticity today amongst artists today. It's like most artists these days don't know who they are, not only musically, but as a person. And it's sad, you know? And I talk about musical authenticity quite a bit, why it's so important for you to just be yourself and not care about what anyone else thinks, because people are going to talk, people are always going to have something to say, you know? The question is, for you as a creative, what do you think about the product that you're putting out? You know, if you yourself don't love it, if you yourself don't dig it, then that tells me that you're not ready to put this out, you know? And for me as an independent artist, as a musician, I love what it is that I do. And the music that God has put inside of me to create and release comes from my heart, my imagination, how I feel about things and how I feel about people, how I feel about life in general. You'll hear that all in my music, you know? And so that's the thing, you know, you gotta know who you are. You gotta be comfortable in who you are as a person and as a creative. And so if you're not comfortable with who you are, then people are not gonna dig what it is that you do, you know? And so that's the thing. You gotta believe in what it is that you have. You gotta believe in yourself, you know? And understand that, you know, for us as musicians, as creatives, our ears are tuned different, you know? And so we all hear and feel music differently. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, the very thing that God has given you is custom made, tailor made for you. And using that gift to give Him glory and inspire others. And so that's what it's about, you know, inspiring others, you know, making sure that God gets the glory first and foremost, you know, making sure that He gets props for giving you the gift, as well as inspiring others to be the best you that you can be. And that's what music should be for, to inspire people, to inspire each other. Bring us together and understand that each and every one of us has something to give to the world. Each and every one of us has something to bring to the table. And so that's what it is, you know. And so, you know, with the Grammy Awards today, you know, how everything is so political and how the focus needs to change, because the Grammy Awards is about music. It's about celebrating the art form, you know, and artists, musicians, singers, rappers, producers coming together to honor each other, to celebrate each other. Because music is supposed to bring relief to people. But if you're harping about all this political stuff and going off on a tangent, trying to push an agenda, it's going to do nothing but leave a bad taste in people's mouths. Because people listen to music as a way of escape from all the craziness that's going on in the world. You know, the craziness in the workplace. You know, you may be dealing with, you know, family members that, you know, may get on your nerves sometimes and all that stuff, you know. And, you know, no matter what it is that you're dealing with, you know, music is supposed to provide an escape for you. So you can get lost and, you know, listen to the lyrics, the instrumentation, and allow it to soothe you. Of course, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just an average looking guy who can play the piano and, you know, is talking a whole bunch of nothing and all that, you know. Well, you can think that, but there are those who actually know what I'm talking about and actually agree with me, you know, and that gives me encouragement. That is encouragement for me, because I know I'm not alone and I know I'm not crazy, you know. And so I've been doing this thing for 25 years and I know what I'm talking about. And so that's the thing. And so be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's talk about this, you know. And so how do you feel about the Grammys? You know, for those who, you know, understand what the Grammys used to be and are appalled by what it is that we're seeing today. So let's talk about it. You guys take care. Peace.